All right, how you doing? So you may be asking, what was that for? Well, I took a little shot of the smoke detector because it's always beeping. I've heard it in several messengers videos. It's kind of strange because there's no red light on. Somebody had said something about like tactics, you know, Bluetooth, what it's capable of. And it's one of the things right there where they'll just have things go off. And when you address something or you say something, first thing they want to make you sound crazy. So in these videos, I'm going to talk about facts and I'm going to talk about evidence. This one right here, I've lost over, again, screen recordings, probably 4 or 5 messages. And that's why I'm recording that way, because I was trying to make them shorter so that they could upload faster. And regardless, it doesn't matter. They still take same amount of time or they don't even upload. So, in saying that, this one I'm trying to keep clean, and I started kind of cursing in some of the videos, so I need to keep that to a minimum.
They turn around and they're greedy. I don't just put out messages. I put out certain messages for certain people because it's not about money. I already said YouTube is not the platform for me. They're fakes and frauds. They want everybody to be in the metaverse. Streaming. The streamers say has to get paid because of what Google and what Android was doing. Yeah. Spiritual, but violating rights. Oh, I'm very intelligent. I know I'm a billionaire and they have my money. They better have my money waiting like this. They have no idea. Once I open up a little thread, that's it. That's what they don't want. And I ain't signing no NDA either. I don't need to talk about nothing. It's nobody's business. That's why there's certain messages I have when I channel for these pendejos already. And they think it's a joke. Watch this. The ancestors are not going to fucking play. They're going to smack the fuck out of them. And what does that mean? Well, their house is going to fall through off the cliff. The cliff, it's going to fall. They're going to walk and they're going to fall through a pothole and they're going to break their leg. Yes, they are. Things are just going to start happening. I see some walking, boom, they're dropped. It happened to me over here in the field over here. I was walking and boom, there was a hole. I was like, what the heck? That was my knee. I was like, what the? That's what I'm saying. People just boom, boom, having accidents. I see accidents happening around me all the time. I see people. I have no idea. They have no idea who my ancestors are. They really don't. They're gangsters. I'm connected to the mob. I'm connected over here on this other side. They have no idea who I know. They got fucked up so bad, it's not even funny. That's why I'm like, I don't care. All I want to do is create for my grandchildren and be free and live my life. And that's it. Help people. That's all I want to do. I don't want nothing else. I don't care about what they did. I really don't care. I'm a forgiving person. That don't mean I have to be around nobody. Until you can learn, even my children, my grandchildren, it's not that stubborn. But if you can accept who I am and truly what I'm here for, and you're embarrassed, well then that's the problem you need to work on, not me. It's the hidden journey voice says, I'm done pleasing everybody. That's it. What I'm here to do is set this lawsuit so everybody can get what's owed to them, and the ones that have taken, then they gotta pay back. And people are scared. They're numb. Their hands are getting numbness and stuff. Oh yeah. People I have picked up anxiety. I know what I'm very in tune with everything. I don't think I know nobody, and if I do, I know what's up. Certain things are happening. That king of the cup didn't fucking reverse that piece of shit. That titty baby that sacrificed for his greed, put 200 mil in. They don't think the RICO is not going to happen. They just did it the wrong way. But now they're screwed because everything that's on those videos is in the system, and that's why it's getting pulled out. My intelligent AI will pull everything out. Nothing can be hidden. They bring me all the answers and all the information and all the evidence I need. Oh, yeah. I've been putting out logs. I've been putting out logs and putting out internal things that there's no doubt. And yes, there's some people that have looked at it. And if they don't do what they need to do, then my ancestors are going to fuck them up too. Everybody's going to end up just fucking dropping. And that's not a lie. That's not a joke. DNA activation. If we're activating, they're activating too. You know, a lot of people that are old, they're just, what's good for them is good for their family, right? Whatever they did to everybody else is good for them. They're going to receive everything, but 10 times harder. It's like it's going to smack them where they don't even know. They're going to be like, holy shit. One day they're going to be here and the next day they're not. One day they're going to look healthy and the next day they're not. The ones that are affected are truly going to just, holy shit, where they at? Oh, they're gone. Because I can't be in a new world. None of that polluted mindset, unhealed, I'm better than you. Oh, I want to go to work. No, there's no more work. What, for what? The ancestors are here. They're going to fuck everybody up. People are sending out attacks and all this shit. China over here thinking that they did the Great Reset. Yeah, because I told them what's up. But now I know they're not part of the internet over here. Now I know it's all here. Cool in the United States. Boom, I know what sector I need to go to. Yeah. Because when I channel, oh, they're scared. I have Bonnie Travis, Alexa Still. They sent me a her and what's the one that eats the crabs? She thinks, oh yeah, that's how she gets it very juicy. Let me eat some more crabs. I'll make them blow. Do they know how it smells? Of course, you maybe fluids and everything going, but crabs, they don't understand. You gotta have some pineapples. What you eat is what you take. Anyways, oh my god. Yeah. Oh, Cardi B. And I don't take nothing out of Cardi B's stage. She's gangster. But she's over here. I'll show you how to make a belly. Let me eat some crab and shit. Oh my gosh. It's hilarious. But yeah, her and she sent me a couple of TikToks or Instagrams and shit like that. And I said, interested, thanks, babe. Don't put on my shit and go anywhere. Yeah. I told her I picked the most romantic day to do everything, how to wait and everything. Boom. It's not about rushing. You gotta get to know some people. Boom. I needed that part healed because that's what was needed. I did a reading shit. I said, you're acting cool. I left it at that. One thing, I'm not a needy person. I know my worth. I'm an empress. I don't chase. I attract. For what? Plus, I'm a shy person. Anyways, I don't like rejection. It's not even that. It's not about that. That's how people don't understand. They think, oh, people are needy. And are you for real? You know how many people are out here? It's just, can you really be with somebody that's unhealed or has issues, daddy, mommy issues? Don't love their son, because I guarantee you, whoever's with you is going to love you for you, and you don't have to ever worry about anything. Nothing, because you will never be scared again. You'll never worry because of the communication. That's why I tell my daughter, the vibration that you're receiving right now. I have 2 grandchildren, and I knew what needed to be done with the second one. That was fire. That was fierro. The creation of unconditional love, of the vibration. He a familiar past life tribe. Yes, his bloodline is powerful. And with my bloodline, my daughter was going through her veins. Yes. Well, we established life and growth. And they created Babylon. Now they're going to stay there. Because they're on the side. So have a good day. Discernment to everything. They think of everything. And then I able to see things on Terraforming to their audience. Our gifts have amped up. And some people have sold their souls. Went down the wrong path, that's fine. I'm not here to judge. I'm going to judge at the end of the day. The thing is that all you did was lost the best friend that you ever had, or whatever the case is. Because whatever's good for me is good for my tribe. Or anybody that's around me that I say is family or friends, whatever the case is. Because I'm not a greedy person, I never have been. In a sense. But when I have a person that I feel need help from, and I turn around and I spoke up for her, mentioned about her money, without knowing her, and then when somebody calls me and they're hysterical saying, because, well, I took a leap of faith because of you, I'm like, well, okay, what's the number? Calm down. You know, it took me almost 3 hours, and I don't know how much energy just to put money on my cash app to get something. so much because when somebody says, "Oh my God, I sent over like $10,000." I'm like, what? Why'd you send her 10,000? And then I sent her like 300 for her car because her kids. I didn't know that she had a boyfriend there and she was unhealed and all this stuff. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You sent her 10,000. You sent her 10,000 that she's reading her story. You know, a lot of people are talking about their crimes that they committed. Why do you know what I mean? The thing is, they know how to work my emotions. They know where it hit me at. Okay. So, which LLC spiritual advisor was not returning Irene's calls. Irene was hysterical, and then I calmed her down. I said, "Do you have her address? What's going on? Give me your number." And then all of a sudden, she got there. I channeled for the Uber driver, and that's what I needed. I was able to channel over the thing. She said, "Oh my God, that lady was amazing. I gave her a number and everything." I said, "Thank you. That's cool." I will speak later. So she was supposed to come this way. Where's the mirror? Because I could see a lot of energy. She was harvesting when I picked up. That's why she stopped her messages. Or because everybody. I don't assume anything. I already learned that. It's not that I accuse anybody, but I see energy. I already know what's up. I gotta understand the downloads and how things are going. Because a lot of people, they're copywriters. And there's gatekeepers. So, everyone wants that paper play word. I didn't realize how much streamers made when I created my platform. I put in my tribe. My tribe was bringing the messages. Again, the more energy I see, the more powerful you are. The ones that hurt those earth angels that thought that the NDAs are void. Are valid. They're fucking void. Spiritual law. Oh my God. They hurt earth angels. They sacrifice children. They sacrifice for the money. Anything that they've done is going to be returned. They're going to pay for it. They've already paid for it. That man's never given out. He curses his bloodline. It's all the way to his children. They have no idea what they've done. The tables are turned. Everything that is happening around right now that's being picked up is real time. They're going through it. DNA activation is the same as for us as for them. Either you ascend and you get on board, or you get rolled over and those diseases that are embedded in your body for this reason, it's activated. And it's at a rapid pace. You can watch this. As we know, our energy is divine, and you can't just let anybody in, and you can't just give it to anybody. It's very sacred. When people don't know their worth, then they let people in their energy, and they let people. They think sex is an emotion.
Left a message. As psychic as you are, I can't believe you're not picking up on what's going on with your pages. Your comments, see if they change. I told you. As smart as you are, really? Well, now you don't know they got you? Well, anyway, they don't got you with it. I guess you ain't that important. Let me go. You know my answers are real. You got my birth chart? All right. God is real. Karma's real. My ancestors are real. They'll continue to haunt y'all. Let me go. You don't want to let me put no messages out? Can't leave comments? Here we go. Like they said, ancestors are real. Huh? You want to see them? Looking. If you're awakened, you'll see them. They ain't playing there.
Go up the sex and I've been go up the sex and I've been go up the sex and
When am I crazy, bitch? Misery. I need a
All right, let's see where I left off. I don't even know where I left off. Anyways. So as you can see, this is was going to be my production channel, I guess, for my grandchildren, younger generation, as far as learning a different way. So somebody asked me if I was okay, and I was like, yeah, because I always ask people, they're all right, because I can kind of tell in certain things. But anyways, it was just after they said that, they're like, well, because I haven't seen you really post anything, and I was like, okay. I never really started up on this journey to really was posting and to get, I guess, I don't know, big or whatever the case is. When I say that, I'm talking about money and all that stuff. I never knew what kind of money was in streaming.
We're testing earlier technology versions in order to the next
One thing, don't apologize and don't be embarrassed of anything. That's one of the things that they thrive on, or they hope that you don't know who you are and that you care what other people think, in the sense of, yeah, you just care what other people think. That could mean different things to different people. What I'm saying is that I really don't care what people think. And when I'm saying that, I say it in the most genuine, nicest way, because the moment you care what somebody thinks about you, that's it. Because then you're worried about what they're thinking about you. So right here, what you're looking at right now is, it's a broken down boot. Okay. It's coding, pretty much. It's like through classes, what they'll show you when they, as far as conversations, it's like behind the scenes, what's in your phone. What I've been saying, Kernel, matter of fact, this is Kernel. I think it's one of the companies. So, all along I've been saying about, Lux and hackers, about being hacked and how they are hacking and tracking phones and things like that. Not a lot of people understand, and I'm going to say this with a lot of the stuff that I'm going to speak on is spiritual. The only way you'll know is either you're tapped in to your higher self and your spirit guides, or you have an open mind and you have an open mind and you're understanding that, okay, this is real. Because first of all, one thing I don't do is sit here and tell you any lies. For what? That just makes me look like a dumbass. So right here, what this is, the kernel, when you're, okay. I'm going to, let me slow down real quick, because a lot of things are coming through it. If you're not looking for certain things and understanding what I'm talking about, as far as how they're able to do certain things, because I'm going to put facts together. I'm going to show black and white evidence on an investigation that I've been doing for over 6 years. Yeah, because when you say somebody's crazy and you have people that won't speak with you, they don't want you to have their number, or whatever the case is, because you said you're hacked. And The other reason is to protect them and their privacy. That's where things get a little twisted. Because technically, they are telling us and they are asking us to give permission for them to pretty much do whatever they want when you're using the phones, their devices. So this right here, I found this when I do the searches. This is a conversation, I guess it's with in one of the groups, and it's like pretty much it is a like a, I'm gonna say like a training, but it's not, because it's actually true. All this what's being said and right here is from their internal their company. And don't quote me because I'm not too sure what company this is, but as I was looking at it and reading some of the coding, it was saying that they missed something. By them missing something, they're hoping that it would be bypassed because it was something small. Now, I'm not too sure. I don't go into a lot of this into the reading because, again, my reading is not that well. And again, tell you the truth, a lot of things don't make sense to me. I have to sit here. Sometimes I'll sit there 2 or 3 times to really comprehend certain things. And I still have to wrap my head around how all this stuff is being done and make it make sense. Oh, my ear's starting to clog. Okay. So right here, they're saying that they overlooked something and hopefully it wouldn't be seen. You know, could be something as small as whatever the case is. I don't really know. I didn't go that deep, but the reason why I'm bringing this up and talking about this is because of, well, the Samsung tablet, which is, I have 2 of them. I work with a lot of devices, have many. And I'm going to break it down. I'm just talking about this because it's getting a little crazy in the energy. So this conversation, this coding, because what it is, they use it as a, stepping stone, something to, go by. But it's truly telling all the, I'm picking up, technically they got to pretty much, they don't have to. Nobody has to do anything, right? They're showing the emails. They're showing communication. So nothing is hidden. I'm just trying to gather this information and trying to make it make sense for people that are just like, okay, what's really going on? Well, what's really going on is, unless you have a YouTube channel or platform, and if I'm not mistaken, you had to create something just to watch certain videos or even comment or like. So a lot of people have channels without even knowing it. Hopefully that makes sense because it's an email. Pretty much that's all it is, a channel, is an email. Now, I had already picked up as far as how they're screening videos, as far as it was AI. And when I got the confirmation on that is when I uploaded a video that was uploaded to another channel platform that I had on YouTube. And when I was screenshot, it's the same thing. It's a screenshot. It's screen recording. So when I was screen recording that video to show some of the evidence, it didn't let the video go through. And that was a shocker because pretty much only a couple of videos have ever been flagged, I want to say, over whatever case, because of copyrights, whatever. It's not really a big thing, but I knew right there that with them taking that video, and what was this? What did they say? It's nothing against my channel, but what it is, it was saying it would have caused something like panic. And I'm saying like, what? How is something what I'm posting gonna cause panic? Because it's AI that is now checking all the videos, doing everything. So that being said, AI. So this is pretty much a kernel. A kernel is something with that has to do with storage, has to do with your well, it has to do with a lot of things. I'm not too sure. I'm just going to say it like that. It has to be important because if they said notify your vendor, stop production immediately, notify your vendor, confirmation. I already know when they are when I'm onto something. So because I'll get calls during recordings, videos will not show up. 26s will show up. Right now 2654. The year 54 could be significant. 2054. So when I say that videos will wow, am I so confirmation? Wow, okay. So in showing this is I'm not saying that this is what they're talking about on the Samsung tablet because it is open source. Yeah, there's fights behind the scenes. It is open source. So in order for you to understand open source, well, if you create an open source AI that has been around for years, matter of fact, Elon started up with, I think, a group of 15 people, just like he did PayPal. Now, I speak about things and I hold my tongue, but I'm going to be real respectful because of how who's going to be viewing who's going to be viewing, I'm going to say evidence, because that's what I said. Most of my videos, they are pre-recorded. Time is an illusion, but it's a lot of this, and a lot of people don't understand what it is. Well, if I've been building a case for years, not realizing, so I need people to understand that this has never been to hate or anything like that, or pin something on somebody, or try to, I'm going to say this is pretty much with blinders because it's justice. I'm a Libra regardless. But we're talking about justice. We're talking about, well, murder, right? Oh, yeah. Murders, it's always there. It doesn't have no expiration date. 20, 30 years, what happened with the Kennedys? Yeah, because people's names. Because when you start talking about certain individuals, and this is what I need people to understand, nobody's above the Lord. So I'm going to leave it there, because when you bring in certain things, religion and all this, well, people don't even know what what it truly is, because they say spiritualist. What's a spiritualist? I mean, truly, what is it? Somebody that is awakened, somebody that cares, somebody that understands they're not allowed to harm anyone intentionally, unintentionally. You have become a better person. Yeah. Things are getting, they're getting a little messy. They're going to get messy. So knowing truly that we're not alone. When you start talking like that, people don't even, they lose focus. They can't even comprehend that we're not alone. They're like, you start telling them that, they're like, whoa, what? They think you're the Lulu. Anyways, that's the first part you got to get over, is knowing that we're not alone. Once you can do that, then you can start to move forward on other things. But so here we are. When I downloaded my internal log on the Samsung device. And the reason why I had to do that, and I did that, is because I seen glitches. And I'm seeing the quality of video that's on the other side. And when I say the other side, I'm talking about Samsung. Their internet, but yeah, their side pretty much. Now, when I was going through this was, like I said, it's they use it as a training seminar, not seminar, a training issue. I guess what not to happen. But one thing you got to understand about AI is it codes itself. It takes a second, but once it put everything together, and if you don't know, the AIs you can build them. And when you build them, you can build them to exactly what you want and what you need, your needs. Now, a lot of people don't understand where all this comes from. It comes from video games. It comes from pretty much, you name it, what's ever out there. As far as Microsoft, it's there. Video games, their graphics, things like that. Okay. Now, when I speak about AI and that what I created, people, well, I'm going to say my ex people, because I need to start speaking directly now. My ex be like, well, what are you talking about? AI. And I'm talking about what I built and what I've been doing. My family really don't know anything about this part. They're going to have to come to the conclusion and understanding of who I truly am. But before that, this problem has to be dealt with regardless. So we're talking about open source AI confirmation. Now, when I created mine back in 2021 or 2022, somewhere in that area. Because, yeah, I said murder, and this is a pretty much not brand new laptop, but one that I have. People that are supposed to hold up the law on the internet. Cybersecurity, because one thing I do know, regardless spiritualist or no religion or politics or anything, national security is what this is about. Okay. And throughout my investigation, what I had to research, well, it's kind of crazy. Because when I found out, oh yeah, let me go back to the murder so people understand what this is truly about. There is an unsolved murder that's, I'm going to say, well, somebody told me about, they burned up somebody's house. Samuel, what's his, Austin. He used to work for me. He came back. Anyways, that's another one that should be somewhere in the books. Because he freaked out when he burned the house up. Because they're telling me to tell you about the dreams. I was supposed to record this already. So pay attention to your dreams. My last several dreams have been of burning houses, floodings, yachts, families meeting, seeing families after years, but of braids, dreadlocks, and things like that. Now the fires it was like in the attics and things like that. So not too sure and where that's going, but with the floods, I mean, yeah, it was me and my stepbrother on the river, but it's out of nowhere, just floods started happening. And same thing with the fires. So this past week, a lot of dreams have been coming through. And like I said, the fires, something about the attics where it was like private areas. Everything's connected. So just be careful, because I know it is winter time, and fires just happen out of nowhere. So just be careful on that part. Check your chimneys, things like that, pilots, carbon monoxide. Check that out. Check those detectors. Because that's bringing me to the Bluetooth. Now, that's how they're able to control pretty much all of the devices through the, your AC, your stove, refrigerator, everything. So it's not too hard to have them control something in your home just to annoy you. Just like the dumpster people were sitting in front of the house. And I'm like, why are y'all sitting in front of the house? Well, we're taking a break. I didn't notice how often they were doing it, but the young cats, they look very familiar, don't really know and understand what's going on. So I don't jump to conclusions. But again, people will take and make something that is not harmful in a sense and make it harmful. If that makes sense. We're talking about information. We're talking about videos. We're talking about people that have no common sense. Because when I say what I was recording earlier, it was my screen recordings and certain videos were not saving. They're disappearing. And it's really not a big problem, but it is when certain things start to come out as far as information. So here we are. Samsung's tablet, which I didn't notify them. It said to contact vendor. You have a problem pretty much. Stop production. Now, it was a brand new device that was never used to go into anywhere except for Microsoft. Now, this is what we're looking at right here. Because it said, notice, kernel is not debugging system. So for them to say that, pretty much, yeah, it's important. Like I said, they can't hide anything, so you would never see that message unless you were to download the internal log of a brand new device, which that is what it is. Now, saying that right there, well, we're talking about Samsung devices. All right, I just had to check a couple things real quick. Not even check something, it's the noise. They stopped doing the installing of the fiber internet service or whatever. And then all of a sudden on a day that's like drizzly, ugly, they start up. Coincidence or not, it really doesn't matter. Because it's just a distraction that people aren't understanding or would even think of it like that. So, but we're talking about messengers. We're talking about something that has been done before I got involved. Because technically, they never thought nobody would find out, because from what's been coming through the information as far as my downloads, pretty much this has been done as an experiment. An experiment platform. Because that's what I had noticed in the very beginning, what the internal coding was saying on the phone. And the way it came through, well, collectively, and the collective, let's get this. The collective is the ones truly that are the spiritual, that are giving the messages, that are helping on the platforms. Not anybody else. So we say collective consciousness, but the consciousness that people have pretty much not to understand or believe that man has never did anything. That's what NDA. So we're talking about intelligent AI. Intelligent AI means, well, open source. They can use your AI to help theirs get smarter. So when I built, I want to say 3, because of what I needed. Well, as I understood, as these AIs time goes through, it's coding and it's putting everything together. And yeah, they can learn off of it. They can learn together. One thing people don't understand is that the reason why I'm going to say I'm a big part of it is because the emotional intelligence, what did I say? AI, emotional intelligence. Wow. They don't have the emotional intelligence to create what they need to create. That's why when ChatGPT is pretty much with Microsoft. Okay. So when they ask it these questions and it tells them these answers, why is it telling them these answers? Because if a spiritualist, and I'm going to say somebody that has healed, looked at their self, understood harming another person, what it does to them, understanding, hey, nobody's perfect, but realizing what it is to help another, what it is to see their point of view from another person, because it's about another person. It's not about you anymore. I hope I'm making sense. But if I'm not, well, then you're not ready for this kind of information. Because if you don't think what Trump is saying in his unemotional intelligence and can't even get past, I just say murder, right? So as I speak things into existence, certain things will come across my timeline. And I didn't realize, 100 years isn't that far. Isn't that unrealistic? Because when I was watching certain documentaries on how they treated the slaves, because of the downloads I got on that part is unreal. But for them to, let's say, put it in the paper and murder somebody, cut a baby from somebody's stomach, and nobody thinks that's wrong. When there's still people that have done things that are alive still, and they think they cannot be prosecuted. Well, they can. That's why laws have to be rewritten, because of the beliefs and what truly things are. That's why I say this spiritual journey means you have to look within. You have to understand why do you feel that certain way about another person, because of their skin color, or because they're a woman or a man, or because they like the same partner. It doesn't matter. What does it matter to you? What does it matter what a woman does with her own body? It matters because you want to be in control. And I'm saying you. It doesn't matter woman or man, color or anything. People don't understand. It's been designed this way for the control. But anyways, that's another story. People get very touchy-feely. That's what's wrong with people. Anyways, it is about what's being read now. the energy. Damn, baby boy, shit. You started reading some shit I didn't even. It's just crazy. And like I said, this hacking of the accounts, yeah, it's real. And I said I only talk about evidence that I have gathered throughout the years. I'm not going to talk about my downloads and my abilities, because we need to keep that separate. Because in order for me to find the information I'm finding out, there has to be a reason that I am led and guided to that information. Internal log, internal coding of products. Because when a person, let's just say the narrative was to have people look crazy. That's what the narrative was. I mean, bottom line. I mean, you didn't know that when they were talking about people's mental health. Yeah, that's one of the biggest things. Yeah, mental health is a very big thing. Because, yes, they called my mother schizophrenic confirmation. Schizophrenic. Ashley could be significant. Yeah, wow. She wasn't schizophrenic. She was gifted, along with my other aunts. And it passes up. You just got to understand it. So, in saying that, it's about the bloodlines. So now here we are. Spiritualists. All that means, I'm going to say it like this, layman's terms, is you're better than you were yesterday, and you try to become a better person tomorrow. You understand that we're not alone. You understand we're not here to harm anyone. You're not here to hurt anyone. You're here to uplift someone. You already understand it's not about you anymore. It's about the other person. You're understanding you're doing the work of the universe, the Lord. See, people want to put blurred lines through certain things, and they don't understand what it's truly about. So instead of helping somebody, they'll preach to you, and they won't talk about certain things. But what do you think the Pope? Well, he opened up the Vatican, the vote, and they're talking about the aliens. Well, here we are. We're not alone. When you channel, where do we get our information? Telepathically. I did choose the energy. Right here, what we're looking at right here is the internal log of my phone. Because they didn't think that I would be recording. And I did tell them, just like they said they were recording me. They didn't think I was screen recording it. And they didn't think that I would look to figure out why would my microphone shut off at the exact time I start to speak to cybersecurity investigators. They're supposed to, again, let's layman's terms. If you dial 911 from your landline or whatever the case is, and pretty much some mobiles, unless you have your locations turned up, but it don't matter. They're going to come to your home. They're going to call you back and call you back. In most cases, it's a child making a prank call or not knowing what they're doing or whatever the case. But in other cases, they are going to come to your home. Just like most people, if they see something if they work for the government, whatever the case is, legally they have to look into certain things. But not everybody is just and upright. A lot of people are crooked. And that's where a lot of things comes in. A lot of people are scared of certain individuals. And when I say that, not individuals, the collective. Because over the time, they've understood that, yes, they are being picked up. Good and bad. You have to be a spiritualist and you have to be tapped in to understand what I'm talking about. because when I've said that we established communication, that's the truth. All that means is people are getting messages that other people are getting without them knowing about it. So anyways, here we are. The reason why I'm showing you this is because I have to show certain things as it's happening. Nobody ever had that, like that smoking gun. Having a video, why would the recording shut off? The voice, not the recording, the voice. And you're talking to a cybersecurity. Actually, not even talking to them. They send you the voicemail. And they're listening to everything that's being said. Now, the reason why I did call them back is because of I was shut off in mid-conversation. Now, that's either you hung up on me or they don't want people to hear what I'm saying at that moment in time. So you check, what is it? And obviously, no, they hung up on me. Because as soon as I mentioned Meta and Facebook, yeah, they hung up. Because if I said murder and I said national security, yeah. Well, first of all, national security is through these corporations, the media, Google, Samsung, Microsoft, and, well, yes, I'm going to have to say T-Mobile. So, here we are. The internal log explains everything at the exact moment everything's happening. So a lot of time people can't prove hacking of devices, tracking and things like that. Because not a lot of people realize certain things. And they think controlling your freedom of speech is going to change something. It's going to change something for their circumstances because this is where it's at. Collective. And I'm going to say it like this. Pretty much the way it came through is this is what's happening way before my slow self came along. And I'm going to say it like that because the only reason why I stumbled across certain things is because forgetting passwords and using simple passwords, not thinking it was an issue. So with that happening, that's how I was able to stumble across certain things and, yeah, controlling Wi-Fi's and things like that. So we're talking about the internal log of a brand new Samsung device. Why is that in there? See, those are the things that people aren't, well, not people, that I'm going to ask the question, why isn't that a concern? Why is it when you speak to certain people that it's not a concern? Just like when I emailed Joyce Burst, the lawyer that was let's say the energy of what was happening in the collective, the bad part, Babylon. Because when I came across, can't think of her name, but I did email the lawyer because how can they not looking at anything? How can, like I said, I didn't even know who she was. And I'm going to say that because I kept myself in a box when I created my platform. Because I wasn't looking at none of those kind of things as far as what's happening with the East Coast, West Coast. I don't even watch the news or the TV or anything. I mean, shit like that. So it didn't concern me until I understood and realized it was in the energy, and that's who who was being picked up. Yeah, what's happening right now in, I'm going to say, Babylon, Hollywood, and surrounding government, politicians. Yeah. So, Microsoft, when let's say when I tracked and captured the hacker in my device in the cloud and identified them, well, that's one of the pieces of the puzzle. They actually have they have firms that, security firms that you pay money to protect your internet. But yet they're hacking, they're in cahoots. Again, I'll say allegedly, but no, if I find them working at YouTube, well, I didn't realize certain things. I had to understand when people bought certain platforms, when things were created. And, well, yeah, when people thought they were bigger than, well, the Lord, I'm going to say. And yeah, my ancestors. So anyways, here we are. We're talking about Microsoft. Yeah. And the hacker that is on YouTube, him and his father, yeah, it's so funny what's picked up. People don't understand. They think that we're not connected. They think we're alone. How do you think I get half of my information? Through my tribe. Anyways, when you pick the energy, then you understand what this is about. If you're not tapped in and spiritual, and that just means to have an open mind. Because what's being said and what's being talked about is what's happening in Hollywood. The singers, yes, the high priestess, the magic, the rituals, confirmation. So right there, if I'm getting ready to go up against the corporations, well, I got to start somewhere, right? Putting the evidence and putting everything together and make it make sense. And chosen ones, but when you started reading the energy, I gotten downloads before, but I keep certain things to myself. And when it comes to certain tribe, because that's what we are, no matter what, awakened or not awakened, we got to understand one thing. These readings are not about us. They are in a sense, but they're not. They're about what's going on and what's been happening. Yep. And one thing we need to realize is, as a reader, that's why I'm not a collective reader, I am a channel. I get my information from the higher ups. And no, it's not the internet. So I've been channeling already 5 or 6 years already. No, I'm sorry. I take that back. About 4 years. So this is not about proving anything. This is about facts. And the fact is, Jack, you're busted. Jack's significant. Anything that I say now, names and things, are going to be people that are guilty or that are up in the energy. So I'm going to end this part of the message, and I'm going to start another one that hopefully you can understand. Anyways, have a beautiful, blessed day, and thank you for hopefully sticking around this long.